for a good time. All right. So first part is we look at the real reason a growing audience still feels worthless. All right, let's look at a few things here. So this isn't a size problem, it's a missing structure problem. Mostly we because of what we are sold out and sometimes because of what we see online. Or maybe you heard, for example, last year, for example, maybe earlier this year, a big thing was the fact that Cristiano Ronaldo just joined YouTube and within a few months or a few weeks or a few days, he gathered 60 million followers, 70 million followers. So it's like it is somehow become a subconscious thing that it is about getting a large following. Getting that following. And many of the coaches and consultants that we work with, that we work closely with, that we even follow, I mean, don't verify that metric. There are coaches and consultants that I can point out to you that do not barely have 5,000 followers, they yet are making like $100,000 in a month consistently and are being overbooked. So if you just know right the real metrics that lead to real sales, it changes everything. Changes everything. So what's actually happening? Almost all coaches, all coach content by design or by accident only ever move someone to the first round. So one thing that you observe is that from you see that from not knowing you to knowing you, that's usually what happens. Most of the content is people move from not knowing you to knowing you, and then it stops with no deliberate mechanism carrying them any further. So why this is bigger than it looks? Why is this bigger than it looks? So a bigger audience without a structural path from a stranger to client doesn't produce more clients. It produces more strangers indefinitely. Scale alone was never going to fix the disconnect. So if you are trying to solve this particular thing of your audience not producing anything sustainable for you with the volume routes, right? What you are creating at scale is that you are just increasing the number of strangers in the business on your ecosystem. But you don't want more strangers truly. As much as reaching more people is nice, that's not what keeps the business running. What keeps the business running is having more clients. And that's really what you want to bring out there. All right. So a brief example of how this looks in a practical way. So two audiences, same size, different structure. So audience number A, this where there's no ladder, there's no system built to move them from stranger to client intentionally. Many people are even doing this well, but they don't even know the things that the real metrics or the real layers within the system that they accidentally build that keeps things going. So sometimes they do change things that are supposed to change in the desire to actually like make some changes to their businesses or maybe like improve their content strategy. But there are things that should not change. And if you just don't know, if you don't know what is working, in your attempt to make things better, you might just end up changing what is working. So you must even know what is working. Many people don't know what is working for them. They made the $5,000, they made the $10,000, but they can only point out the exact thing within their business that's causing that. And you actually want to add those type of numbers. You want to know exactly what's happening. It should just not be a mystery if you are serious about this. All right. So content builds reach only, no deliberate escalation. Content builds reach only, no deliberate escalation. So that's what's happening. Their content is there, is reaching more people, but there's no deliberate step for escalation. So what ends up happening is that they have zero own contacts per 40 followers. So if you have 40 followers, we on Instagram, TikTok, wherever it is, but when it comes to own contact is very key because it moves them from the world of strangers to them be into your ecosystem. Like the platform has people, but then you now have some people. So own content is a very key word that you hear over and over in this webinar. And then audience number B, right? The different case where we want you to go, where we want you to stay at is that you have the same size of audience, you've not changed anything. But then what ends up happening is that there's a weekly post designed to move people up, to move them from being complete strangers to intentionally being part of your own ecosystem. So what ended up happening is out of those 40,000 followers, you now have 1,200 of them, which is very easy to achieve. 1,200 of them is 40,000 followers, 10% is 4,000, right? And so 1,200 is roughly like 2.5%. of that particular audience. So that's not 2% to 3% of that's not so hard to achieve, truly, when you think about it. So before you fix anything, right, do you want to really size your actual gap? The first thing that you do in trying to size your actual gap is to, so you want to count your own list or direct contact community. So not followers, I mean not people. That's people you can actually message directly right now outside the feed. So it's not your followers. And many people will realize that if people do this often, they realize that like they just don't they just don't have any serious business out there, right? This will be a brutal honesty point. If you realize that, oh, you have a lot of followers, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, whatever it is, but then you cannot even reach out to 10, to 20, to 100, to like 1% of them, you should be able to reach out to 1% of them directly. Everything should be structured that way. And then two, review your last 90 days of content, right? So how many pieces included an explicit move up the ladder action? So whatever you posted in the last 90 days, look at it and ask yourself, okay, in how many of them did I actually put something that moves the audience to the next, to the higher in the ladder, right? A rag that actually move them to the next level in this whole thing. Now the third thing is know the percentage who have taken a single action. So you want to know how many of them, despite whatever you say, have actually taken something. They actually did something. Okay, not only did you say something, but they actually did something about what you said. You also want to measure that. And I mean, you have to be intentionally tracking it if you're actually going to measure. So we're right here at the end of it. So you already know why your audience isn't converting. Let's map it to your exact audience. So this webinar gave you the real diagnostic, not a teaser. So a free 15-minute call, discovery call, is the fastest way to run the ownership ladder audits on your own audience and map exactly where the gap sit. So yes, that is my that's my call to action here. I look forward to you getting into this call with you. Book a link, the link is in the description, and make sure you subscribe, you follow, and share it with a coach if you do enjoy this. And this part of a series, watch out for the next webinar as well. Thank you, and do have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye bye.